Hi everyone, I hope that you're doing well. I miss being in the classroom and seeing everybody, but I'm hoping to share some opportunities that will really bridge the gap for us since we can't be all together face to face in the classroom at this time. The first opportunity I want to talk about is actually this YouTube channel. I've created this channel as a way for me to get you information as well as share some different tutorials and instruction. I'll be making some different videos. They might be tutorials on how to use the resources that I'm talking about, or it might be instruction. So either reviewing concepts that we've already learned or teaching you new concepts that build on what we've already learned. I think this will be a good way for me to get you the information, show you examples, take you through practice problems, and it will be a lot cleaner than if I tried to just explain over Google Classroom. So I'm excited about this. If you have a YouTube account, feel free to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out when I post new videos. Otherwise, I will make sure that I email and post in Google Classroom about new content as it gets uploaded. The next opportunity I want to talk about is Google Classroom. I've already mentioned it a couple times. If you haven't joined your class yet in Google Classroom, make sure that you do that. It is important. That's going to be my primary online resource for getting you information and sharing assignments with you. So most of you are already in there, I've noticed. If you're not, get in touch with me. I will make sure to get you the codes. With Google Classroom, it's also important to make sure that you turn on your notifications. I'll try to email you as I remember about different assignments or opportunities that I've posted in there, but if you don't have your notifications on, you might miss something that gets posted. I typically am not going to post things that are not relevant to your learning or to the assignments that I'm putting in there. So having those notifications on will just help make sure that you're not missing out on anything. The next opportunity that I want to talk about is Instagram. I've created an Instagram page for all of my students. It's at Math with Miss Kincaid. Kincaid is spelled Kincaid. So if you're on Instagram, feel free to follow the page. It is going to be private. I would like to keep it to just my students and your families. I don't really want it to be open to just the general public. So do follow on there. If for some reason I accidentally decline you, just send me a DM, let me know who you are, if maybe it's not super obvious from your Instagram handle, and I will make sure to get you added in there. Instagram's nice because it's another way for you to message me. You can always direct message me on there, or we can do Instagram Live. So if you have some questions, but they're not necessarily super detailed, they're just general questions, I'll be doing some different Instagram Lives so that I can answer those questions. That leads me to the next opportunity that I want to share with you. I am going to be offering live office hours through Zoom. So if you're not familiar with Zoom, it's a way for several people to get on and communicate with one another face to face. You can have your webcam on so that we can see each other. I will be setting up certain times every day when I'll be available through Zoom. So if you have questions or you just even want to say hi, you can feel free to jump on to that link and we can chat that way. So that will be coming after spring break. I'll be sending out more information about that. I'll also probably do a tutorial for those of you that aren't really familiar with Zoom. There's some certain things we want to keep in mind, some what we call Zoom etiquette. So I'll be sharing a video towards the end of spring break, beginning of the week after, that goes over some of that information. I will regularly be posting different opportunities primarily through Google Classroom. There's already some stuff in there, so if you haven't visited it already, check it out. Try some of the problems that are in there. For you freshmen and sophomores that are in my Algebra 1 class, I encourage you to keep working in IXL. For my other classes, I'm trying to get you guys some stuff that you can be working on, trying. Right now I'm focusing mostly on review, and that will continue through the end of this week. I will just be posting stuff similar to what we've already worked on so that you can just kind of freshen up your skills, remember what we were working on before we weren't able to be in class anymore. And then we'll start moving on with some new stuff once spring break is over. So not this next week, but the week after, I'll post some different concepts and skills that build on what we've already learned. So definitely keep an eye out. There will be worksheets. I'm going to be trying to do some Google Forms so that you can get a little more immediate feedback. There might be some discussions that I post. So maybe I post about a specific problem and you're given an opportunity to try to solve that on your own. And then in the discussion, you're talking about what you came up with, the solution you came up with, and how you got to that solution. Remember, with math, there isn't always just one way of doing something. There's so many different ways. So I want us to give us an opportunity to really talk about that. If online's not the best option for you, maybe your internet access is a little bit spotty and it just isn't going to work for you to constantly be doing stuff online, please reach out to me. I can work to get you some different resources, maybe mail you some things. If email works for you, I can maybe email you some different assignments or try to get you a textbook if you don't already have one. So if online's not going to be a good option, make sure to reach out to me so I can get you some resources so that you can still have lots of opportunity to learn while we're not actually in the classroom. I really can't emphasize enough how important that is. And I love that so many of you have already reached out and you want to learn, you want to be working on stuff. 6 weeks not in the classroom is a long time, and it's important that we're able to still keep up on our skills and be working towards that growth so that at the point we are all back together, we're able to just keep going and that you're not missing out on a bunch during this time. That learning opportunity can look so different for people too. I encourage you, just even as you're around the house, there's so many different ways that you can build your math skills beyond just different math assignments. Maybe you decide to start baking with your family. That's a great way to practice some of those math skills. Maybe as you're learning more about COVID-19, there's so much with how it's modeled and the exponential models of it. Getting into some of those different numbers that are involved. There's so much real life math that can be happening around us right now. So I encourage you to find those opportunities as you can and be practicing your math skills that way. In general, there's just so many ways for you to practice different learning and have different opportunities. Maybe you're reading some books, maybe you're watching some different tutorials on YouTube to learn about things that you haven't had the opportunity to learn about. I'm really looking forward to just hearing more about what you guys have been doing in the past couple of weeks and to be able to just share that with one another. So stay tuned. There will be lots coming, not a ton this week besides some review, just because I'm still working on getting everything together so that I can post it. And then there might not be a ton next week with it being spring break, technically spring break, but stay tuned for after that so that those next couple weeks before we return to school, so that you have some opportunities to keep learning and keep building your skills. Reach out to me if you have any questions. I'd love to hear from you guys. I hope that you're all doing well, and stay tuned.